Hello and welcome. My name is Steve Hastings, and I'm going to provide an overview of the MX400, MX200 from a user perspective. The user's use case we're going to go over today is channel insertions, how to manage your own TV channel using the MX400 web UI. So let's just dig in. So we're going to start by what is the MX400? Well, the MX400 is a device installed in your facility that outputs TV channels, content, video, audio that is compatible with the cable TV infrastructure of your facility, and as such, accessed by your residents as if it were another TV channel. Only it is completely generated by the westbound equipment inside of your facility. So assuming it's already been installed and up and working, and what we're trying to do is just figure out how to manage the content on it. So first thing to know is how to access the device. The device is actually in your facility and accessible either remotely or directly via your local LAN. You do not need any software on your device. It's access through a web browser, and that's all you need. So we'll start by showing you how you'd access it on a PC via the local LAN. This is our local LAN. You can see on the screen there are a number of MX400, MX200 devices on our network. They show up just like printers. So if you go to this, you can see I clicked on the network neighborhood to see all these, and that's all you need to do to see them. So I'm actually going to do my testing here on this MX400KS, which is just a designated for kitchen sink. It means it's been licensed for everything, but the stuff that I'm going to show you today will be specific to the MX400CC. So I double click on it. When I double click on it, it opened my Chrome and it popped up to the web UI, just like this. Now you can see there are three users: administrator, operator, monitor. Administrator can do anything. Operator is fundamentally limited to content changes, and monitor can't make any change but can look at anything on the device. I'm going to log in as administrator. The default password is admin, A-D-M-I-N, lowercase, and I log in. So there we are. This is the web UI of the box. Now, that's because I was on the local LAN, as I showed you a minute ago. I was able to browse to the device simply by double clicking on it as if it were a printer. But what if I'm at home or another facility? There's another way to get there. So FlexStream is West Pond's cloud-hosted support service. There's quite a bit of functionality here. We won't touch on all of it. But essentially, anyone can go to flexdm.net and create an account. Once you create the account, you join an organization. If you may already have an organization with your facility. And when you log into that organization, you will be presented with the dashboard, media, devices, device group. This is the web UI. It takes a couple of seconds to load because I have quite a few devices I manage, but if your facility has, let's say you have 4 or 5 campuses, and each one has an MX400 or MX200 or more, then you would see all those devices under here. If you, as an administrator of FlexDM, wanted to restrict that, you can make a hierarchy to say these users of FlexDM only have access to these devices, and so on. So this is the dashboard, shows you the healthy unit. You can see there's one here that's the disk usage is 96%, and use that as indicators. We monitor most of the devices that are out there and get alerts when things are in trouble for whatever reason. So that's the dashboard. The device is probably the most interesting. So our device, if you remember, was called PS Test Overview. Now you can see here it is right here. PS Test. So here you can see PS Test right here. Oops. So if you kind of scroll the mouse over to the right, you can see that there's a little clipboard that tells you some information about its serial number, when it last checked in, and all that, what software version it's running. But this button here takes you remotely. So when I click on that button, I get a new tab in my browser, and guess what? I'm logging in to the same system as I did when it was local. So there it is local, and here it is remote. Hard to tell the difference. So the point is you can get at the device remotely or locally regardless. So FlexStream is a service that comes with each device. You get 1 year free. It's part of a FlexCare package, which includes hardware warranty, software support, all the software updates that we issue, which we do a lot of software updates, not for fixes, but we keep adding more and more features. There's also technical support and a lot of other benefits to this, and we'll get into them a little bit more later. So I'm going to close one of these and stick with the local one. You can see it's a local address up here. And I'm going to show you more about how this web UI works. So this is the navigation bar on the left-hand side. Overview, sources, outputs, schedule, device control, monitor, system. So on the overview, we have sources and outputs. There's really only one output in your box. It's our RF output. You could create IP outputs if you had an IPTV, or advanced users sometimes have IPTV side networks, and that's also available. On the overview page, you can see there's a thumbnail. If you click on the thumbnail, you can see the screen. What this is a way for you to see what is on the TV screen at the time of real time. Now, it's not video because that uses resources, but it is a thumbnail. And if you were making changes to, say, play a DVD player, you could come here, look, and see that the DVD was actually playing. And that's kind of it's a confidence factor, especially if you're remote. Now, sources are what feeds the output. So our output right now is playing, is at the menu of a DVD that we tossed in, and this is a secondary channel, which is just playing an advertisement loop. Those sources, where did they come from? Well, the heart video came from this source, encoder 1, and the FlexStream advertising loop came from this source. And those are the only two we have. Now we're gonna add a few more as we go on here. So I know this seems like a lot. Don't be scared yet. 99% of what you do on a day-to-day is going to be in this tab right here called Schedule. And that's really what we're going to need to focus. But I'm going to give you a little overview of the other pieces of it to make understanding the schedule a little bit better. And since this is a video, you can come back to it and maybe it'll be useful. So we mentioned sources. These are the sources you have as the producer of your television channel. The sources include something connected to the HDMI port, like a DVD player or PC. Could be a networked camera, a security camera, or a camera in your auditorium, or focused at a nature setting. The input ASI is outside the scope here. Tuner, well, unusual. Some do have it. Tuner is a source. I use the channel scan feature here to scan an antenna we have. And these are all the channels that are available in our area over the air. I can actually enable one of the tuners built into this to pass that video on through as a source and therefore be available for our TV channel. Video server. This is a very cool feature. Here's where we put videos. Let's say if you recorded your own video, you can upload it here. If you use the DVR feature, you'll see the files here. We only have one file here now. We'll add them later. I'll show you that. The encoder. The encoder's job is to format the video so that it's TV compatible. So lots of these sources, like the camera and such, they're not TV compatible. It's the wrong shape, size, maybe the wrong format, wrong encoding. The encoder's job is to make sure that what comes out of the output is TV compatible. So you're going to run, I have one encoder enabled here. I'm only going to show you one channel, much like the MX200 would have. But the MX400, you can have a second encoder. It could be enabled, and you would just use it in the same way. You can come to this encoder page every once in a while and look at what is going on. So right now, the input from this encoder is coming from the HDMI port. It's a video capture port. It does happen to have a presentation attached to it. Presentations are the web-based adaptation that's applied to the video. Sometimes if you're using just a URL signage solution, this will be your primary source of signage material, this presentation. And you won't take anything from the HDMI or any port. And that's what the presentation is for. So these two are overlapped with each other, selected one versus the other, and then turn into your television channel. We'll get, again, into this a little more later. This is a list of presentations. We only have one. If you were, this gear over here is probably the only thing interesting from people doing URL-based signage. You click on that gear. This is where you put the URL for your signage system. You put it right there and hit save. You notice it says HTML, video, and auto. Auto means that if someone plugs in a video source exists, it will automatically switch over to it. So if you have a DVD player, for example, connected to your HDMI and the input of your encoder is selected to HDMI, and someone turns on that DVD player, it will stop playing the presentation, the signage, and automatically go over to use the DVD player. If you're using the scheduler and you have a DVD player that you're controlling over time through the remote control feature, you don't need this auto. In fact, I'd probably switch it to HTML and leave it there, just so you wouldn't confuse things. We'll do that right now. Save away. And now our output, which was before showing heart, you might remember, heart was connected to our DVD player, which was connected to our HDMI input. And since it was there and turned on and it was set to auto, heart was what's displayed. If we look now on our output, and we give this a couple seconds, you can see now it's playing the digital signage. So you can see how that auto takes cover. So the digital signage is playing. That's probably how your system will be set up when you come to it. And what you're trying to do is figure out how to schedule things. So let's look at scheduling. The first thing you might want to do, let's look at the first thing I get asked. How do I play a YouTube video? So I want to play a YouTube video that is a relaxation video on Sunday evening. So we're going to call it Relax. And what are we going to do? We're just going to play it on Sunday evening. Now, if I wanted to play it every day, I could choose daily. If I wanted to do it weekly, but only Monday and Tuesday, I could do that. Maybe we'll do that. We'll do it weekly, Monday and Tuesday, or Sunday, Monday and Tuesday, right? When do I want to start? Well, today is this is the 18th. We'll start early in this week, and we'll go 6 months. If you think this is forever, then go out a couple of years so you don't have to worry about it till then. Now, at what time? Well, in the evening, 7 p.m. we're going to play this. Okay, so it's 7 p.m. on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. We want to play our relax video. Now, let's go find one. So we're going to go to YouTube and see what we get. And hopefully I'll get a relaxation video. Here's one right here. I'll wait our 5 seconds to get through the ad. Okay, skip the ads. And there we are, relaxation video. I'll pause that. Now, you see here where it says share? That's where you go to get your URL. So share, and there it is right there. https youtube.be, blah, blah, blah. Each video has one of those on YouTube. Copy that. Okay, close that down. Now we'll go back to our scheduler. We're going to say change our action. What do we want to do? Play YouTube video. Put it in our URL. Paste it right there. So now our URL's here. We decided to play YouTube. Vimeo, same way. Put the URL in here. You're good to go. Type create. There we go. Look. So now we have an event, 7 p.m. on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Every week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. 7 p.m. We're behind us? Nope. that goes here. All right, so now we've set up our relaxation. Now we want to make sure that particular video, as you can see, let's see, we play, this is how long it is. I think this video is something like 35 minutes long. You want to know that right now. So you don't want to you don't want to schedule anything ahead of time. I forget where the stats are, but they're on there someplace. So anyway, let's assume that's 35 minutes. So we don't want to schedule anything before, let's say 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. on any of those days. But at 8 o'clock on Sunday, we're going to call that, well, let's say 8 o'clock on Saturday. We're going to call it Saturday movie night. So you assume you've purchased the DVD control option with the MX400cc, and we're going to do this weekly. We're going to do again, we're going to pick a day, and we're going to pick a day in the future, and it'll get scheduled in for all those days. And movie night is again going to be, let's say it starts at 7:30, and it's on Saturday night. And now what do? Play DVD. So we choose the method, play DVD Blu-ray. Now, this is happens to be the only input we have is our Denon DVD player. So we choose those two. If you had two DVD players, you're going to see one that says 2-1, and this will say 2-1. You just match them up so you got the right ones. You can record this. Well, let's say you play the DVD, you run the DVD through once, and you know you're going to play this particular DVD because it's your home recorded Pilates video. So you can record it and give it a name here, and then you don't need to have the DVD in it. But we're not going to record this one. We're just going to create it. We'll get into recording later. So when I hit create, it's going to create an entry, and we'll be able to see it. Here we are, Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Now, if I want to change this to say, you know what, I should have made it on Sundays, Saturdays and Sundays. So I'll just change it to Saturdays and Sundays, modify. Now it's on both days. Now what you'd have to do is remember to just change the DVD during the day, and it will play fine for you. You don't have to touch anything. This would be set static, and if you change the DVD before 7:30, it'll play the new DVD at that time, and it'll play it for the duration of the DVD and stop. Okay, so let's talk about other things you might want to put in here. Maybe you have a chapel. Maybe you have a chapel with a camera that's not HDMI, but it's on IP. So what we want to do is figure out how to set up an IP camera. So I go back to my sources, IP cameras on the network. So I choose network. And IP cameras have an RTSP interface. So you just select this RTSP. These other ones, this one, for example, is often used for two MX400s that are talking together, passing one video source to another. This one's used for third-party over-the-top TV channels, etc. You get this idea. So, but this one here is used for cameras. If I do new RTSP part, see, there's not much. I give it the name. I'm going to say it's Steve's office because that's the camera we're going to do here. Now, I just need the URL. Now, you can go to the documentation. They usually show it. We happen to keep these on our own little web page, what they are. This is the one that's in my office, this particular camera. So I'm going to come back here and paste that URL in here. And you can see the whole URL. It's basically RTSP://Adam:password. Admin password. That's our password is password. The login was admin. But you can, and this is the IP address of the box. But most of this URL you get from the manufacturer. Create, right? So I created it. It exists now as the source. And if you look over here, you can see that the bit rate's gone from 0 up to 3 or 4 megabits per second. So it is actually connected. So that means I have a real source. I should be able to go to the overview, scroll down in my sources, and instead of 2 now, I have a third. And this one, let's look at Steve's head. There you go. And it used to look better a decade or so ago, but yes, I'm doing all right. So that is my office, and I can now use that. Let's imagine that is the chapel cam. So we're going to go to scheduler, and I'm going to add an event, Sunday services, right? And then, of course, it's going to happen weekly. And we're going to do the same thing as last time. We're going to pick a big, long range of weeks. And the Sunday services are at 11 a.m. on Sunday. Maybe they're at 10 a.m. on Sunday. And what are we going to do? We're going to set the encoder input. So that means I'm going to change that encoder that makes TV compatible stuff from its default, which what you saw before was that it was connected to our DVD player. I'm going to change it from that to another source. Now, what do we have for sources? Look, we have a new source now. We have this Steve's Office. That's the one we created. Presentation? No, I don't need a presentation. I have we have one customer who does Bible studies, and they overlay a telephone number. So they have a presentation that uses the HTML just to put a telephone number and a logo on the screen so that during Bible study classes, people know what telephone number to call it. So it's there are lots of uses for this presentation, but right now that's kind of like advanced stuff. So we're going to skip that. Sunday services, we'll say it lasts for 60 minutes. Do we want to record? Yes. And we're going to say we're recording Sunday service. Now, let's not use that. It's overused. Sunday Mass, we'll call it. All right? What do you say? Sunday church, we'll call it. Sunday church it is. And I'm going to create that. Now, this is important. You want to remember this because every Sunday, we're going to record this, and we're going to record it and store it in our media library they showed you before, where all of our recordings and uploaded video is. And we're going to record it, and we're going to call it Sunday Church with a date code. And so later, when we play back, that date code is what we're going to use, that Sunday service, Sunday Church, and the date code is what we're going to use to play it back. So I'm going to go create. There we go. Where are we? Sunday services, now 10 a.m. on Sunday. And now what else do I want to do? I want to play those Sunday services back Monday through Saturday. But I don't want to play the same one. I want to play the one that was just recently recorded. So go back to event, and I go repeat Sunday service, right? And again, I say weekly. I'm going to pick the same basic date range I had before. I don't know exactly what it was, but let's say that's close. I'm going to do it at 10 a.m. just like we did before. People will be kind of used to it. There it is at 10 a.m. No need to do it Sunday. We already got something at that time. So we're going to do it here all the other days. What are we going to do? Play previously recorded content. And what's it called? Oops. Sunday Church. That's what we called it, right? So I save it, create it. So now look, 10 a.m. all the way across. And our calendar's starting to fill up. So you can see Sunday services. I can edit it. Here it is. Sunday Church is the recording name. And later on, edit this, and you can see Sunday Church is the recording name that they play back. So when 10 a.m. comes and we're doing this recording, if you go back to sources, look at the video server. Under recording, you'll see something pop up. This is an old one. And you'll see it active recording that's going on. And then when it's done, you'll see a new file here. It'll say Sunday Church with the date code. And you can delete them as they get old. They will delete themselves after a few weeks. And this is also where you can upload your own content. So if you had your own video and you wanted to play it, you can come here. So let's try that. We've done Sunday services. Let's actually go get the video. Maybe we have a Pilates video someplace. So click on that, and then we'll go see. Oh, here, we'll use a short one, actually. Let's just use this one. This is a very short video of Jewel Island. It's actually my background here. So I'm just going to go open and EWEL and peaceful. I'm going to call it peace, right? That's what it is. So we uploaded, obviously went very quickly, and there it is. Now I have that file. That could have come off my iPhone. It could have been anywhere. It could be an MP4. Don't be fooled. It just says a TS. That's because I converted it. We can get into that later. So I can go schedule. And I could create another event and say play piece. And we go, I want that to play every day. I don't need to pick a day anymore because I said every day. And I'm going to play it every day. It's going to be like just before everybody goes to bed, 10 o'clock. Let's see. Where is 0? One more. There it is, 10 p.m. Done. And we're going to do play media content. And what did we do? Oh, we called it Jewel. There it is. Create. So now, play piece every night at 10 p.m. We pretty much have our TV channel all set up. So that's how the scheduler works, and that is, if you decide you made a mistake and you don't want play piece, you come in here and just go remove. Sure you want to remove it? It's gone. You can edit them, change them. If you had 2 channels, you could get a new timeline for the second encoder channel. Usually that's set up before you see it. Some other extras. This is just kind of that bonus time. We're in extra innings now. If you want to, let's say you're curious what state your system is in, you could come to the encoder. This is pretty informative here. We mentioned that a little bit earlier. If you want to look at the device controls, this says the status of the DVD. Our only device here is the Denon DVD player, and it says it's stopped. If you think it's stuck somehow, you can come in here remotely and turn it on, turn it off. This is kind of like your own built-in remote control. So you could hit enter because it's stuck to play or whatever. Let's see, system. Oh, monitor. Monitor is kind of interesting, mostly from an installation perspective. Now, our particular output, if you went back to the overview, our output is set to channel 131, right? So I can go to the monitor. The monitor is looking at the entire cable system. You see there's other channels on our cable system. You can ignore these little energy dots. The green ones are real channels. And you can see on 131, there we are. If you go to the eye, you can see our 2 channels. And that's the information that the Comcast or cable set-top box takes a look at. One thing that's nice, see how each one of this says 38 dB. This says 34 dB, 34 dB. You want that to be 30 or better. And you want them to all be very close to the same. So you can see how these are all 34 something. That is one of the things you try to do. And you can change that by changing the output power. So here's RF0, and here's it's on power level 3. You can increase it or decrease it. And lastly, system. So settings. I mentioned earlier, go to accounts. Mentioned earlier 3 different accounts. If you want people to be operators, create the operator account and set the password here. It doesn't have any password. You go operator and you give it a password, save, and now the operator's password. And you give that to people who don't feel comfortable with all the power I just showed you. Settings, if you're interested in how the IP, how it's set up on the network, all that is here. If you think your time zone is wrong, that's where it's set here. We're in Boston, so it's America in New York. Info about the box. This is the CPU utilization. It's a little less than half. Storage, here we have 94% free. How long it's been up and running. Sometimes it's interesting. The software version, the serial number, the model, etc. That's pretty much how it works and what goes on here. I hope that you found that is helpful. And if you feel, you can always send an email to support@westpond.com if you have questions, and we'll do our best to handle them. Thank you very much.